everybody out there in the comic book community, and welcome to the first episode of our weekly comic book rundown. And this is a series that we're going to be doing every week on Comic Book Community Central. It's going to be starring myself, Chris, Dark Avenger C86, Mike, Dude of Rock 18, he's also on my site.
Hello.
And Cody, Toxicity.
Hello.
The only one without numbers after his name.
Whoop.
And a brief rundown of what we're going to be doing on these videos is we're going to be doing these videos mostly the day before comic books are released, or on the day the night before comic books are released. So anywhere between Tuesday and Wednesday, this video will be up every week. We're basically going to be doing exactly what the video says, giving you guys a rundown of comic books that are being released on that specific week. Understand, guys, there are a lot of comic book companies out there, and it is nearly impossible to get every single comic book on one episode of these rundowns. So we're going to be sticking to the comic companies everybody knows. We will be touching a few indie comic book companies here and there. However, we won't be able to touch every single comic. So in the unlikely and unfortunate on our part event that we don't mention a comic book that you collect on that week, up front, we apologize for that. But once again, we have to, we're sticking to the comic books we know. And we are mentioning comics we don't collect, but at the same time, we can't touch everything. Other than that, though, it's going to be like the way you see in this episode, basically a slideshow of the comic cover. We will give kind of recommendations on ones that we've been reading. We'll talk a bit about ones that we've been reading. Ones we haven't been reading, we'll give a briefie or something on. Also, really quick, things that you won't be seeing on here. We will not be, these are comic book rundowns, meaning we will not be mentioning trade paperbacks and hardcovers that come out, figures, statues, busts, shirts, apparel of any kind, miniature figures, anything like that. This is a strictly comic book rundown, just the comic books that come out. If you guys are interested in knowing about any other things that are coming out, I know Stadium Comics does their unboxings on Wednesday. You can check them out, or you can go on your MidtownComics.com and check out the rundown there. They usually have their comic book rundowns a week in advance. Other than that, this is just going to be a comic book rundown. We hope you guys enjoy this series. Leave comments if there's any comic books we mentioned that you guys have some info on. If you would like to make a recommendation through the comments, by all means, we welcome recommendations for people who are watching. Read the comments below. If somebody reads the comics that we don't, maybe they can give you guys a recommendation for it. And with that, we're going to begin. The comic books in this video are released the first week of 2012, January 4th, 2012 to be exact. And Cody, you're starting us off.
Alrighty, guys. So for January 4th, 2012, Image, we got Artifacts number 13. Now, Artifacts is one of those stories that crosses over with, what's that character? The Darkness. Mm-hmm. So I can't really give my full gist upon it, but it does look interesting. It seems like it's got a really good story. It seems like it's at a point where two sides are going to be duking out. Really looks nice. Definitely say check it out. Seems worth it. Next up, we got Blood Red Dragon number 3. Cover looks nice. I'm not too sure about the story, but Stan Lee is a part of it, so that might be interesting.
Oh wow, I just noticed that myself. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we got Fatal, or Fatale, number 1. Now, one thing to note about this one is that Ed Brubaker, I hope I'm saying his name right, mm-hmm. He is what is he, writing, or is he doing the artwork?
I believe he's writing it.
Oh, well, whatever the case may be, the name alone definitely says it's worth a shot. Next up, we got Graveyard of Empires, number 3. Looks interesting. Little Depressed Boy, number 8. This is one of those weird ones. You know, Image has a lot of weird comics, so.
Little Depressed Boy kind of reminds me of something I used to see on the internet, like a old cartoon series. I used to watch like cartoon series on there.
Yeah. Next up, we got Mudman number 2. I didn't even know Mudman had a comic.
I didn't know there was a person called Mudman, to be quite honest.
Seriously. Next up, we got Shinku number 4. Not one I can talk about, but does
She
look
looks like
interesting.
Nemesis. I looked at that cover and I thought Nemesis from
Really? Because I
Wildstorm.
thought Scarlet.
That too. Maybe Deathlock also. Looks
Sure.
pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Next up on the list, we got Super Dinosaur number 7. Definitely looks like one for younger readers, especially.
Yeah, Spider-Man 1991 I know reads this. He really likes the series. He recommends it highly.
Ah, cool.
Robert Kirkman writes it.
Oh, wow. Next up, we got Vessel, however you pronounce it, number 7. Looks like, in all honesty, it could be one to pass up, even though it has Adolf Hitler on the cover.
Yeah, interesting, but yeah.
And the biggest one from Image probably is definitely going to be this one without a doubt. Witchblade number 151. Looks very good. Definitely looks like really interesting. In fact, just the lady, I'm probably assuming it's Witchblade herself. She looks like Jean Grey, just the darker version of Jean Grey.
And it's also to note that Ron Mars is officially off the book now. 151 is going in a completely new direction. New writing team, new artwork team, I believe, also.
Yep, and looks good. Definitely looks like it's going to be a pick of the week. And with that being said, guys, I throw you to my brother Chris, who's going to take it off with Boom and IDW.
Yep. Okay, first from Boom, guys. Betrayal of the Planet of the Apes, number 3. Cover looks interesting. I remember watching Planet of the Apes, so I can tell you I know who the character is in the cover. Don't collect the series, really can't give a recommendation for it, but it looks pretty good. Next, Clive Barker's Hellraiser number 9. I was interested in jumping on this series. Unfortunately, there was too many things coming out at the time, and the $3.99 price tag didn't help. So, yeah, that didn't happen. Also, Clive Barker's Hellraiser Masterpieces number 5 comes out this week. So that's 2 Hellraiser books this week. I have no idea about either of these series, to be quite honest. So, yeah. Moving forward, Elric the Balance Lost, number 7. I was going to also pick up Elric, but I forgot why I chose not to. Cover looks really interesting, really awesome, though, I must say that. Irredeemable 33 comes out this week. The Redemption Part 3 story. Mark Waid is on this book. Mark Waid is really good, so I'm sure the story's going pretty well. Unfortunately, I didn't get on board when it was at number 1. Also, something a bit funny. Peanuts Volume 2, number 1 comes out this week also. So for those of you Peanut fans, maybe you'll want to check that out. Maybe not. Just throwing it out there. And finally from Boom Studios, Valen the Outcast, number 2. I have absolutely no idea what to say about this book whatsoever. I've never even heard of it up until this point. So, yeah, moving off of Boom and now going into IDW, we have G.I. Joe Volume 5, number 9. It's Part 1 to Cobra Command. The cover looks interesting. Always like G.I. Joe. I would say check it out. It's a Part 1 to a new series. Godzilla Legends, number 3. Interesting monster on the cover. I believe the cover is Titanosaurs on this cover. Sorry. I believe these covers connect. If you get the regular cover A, the cover A's all connect into one diorama at the end. So, just throwing that out there. Looks interesting.
So they're going to get to Mothra at some point?
They possibly have already or will.
Oh, hell yeah.
Knowing the Godzilla world. Okay. John Burns, I can't pronounce his name, I'm sorry guys. Cold War, number 4. The artwork looks really awesome. Mind you guys, we are only using the regular covers for these videos. No variant covers, no cover Bs, cover A regulars. And it looks really, really good. Jurassic Park, the Dangerous Games, number 5. I like the movies. I don't read the comics for Jurassic Park, so I don't know, but the cover looks really awesome. And Star Trek, the crossover between DC and IDW, Star Trek Legion of Superheroes, number 4, also comes out this week with a bunch of covers, but the series looks awesome. True Blood French Quarters issue 5 comes out this week. So for those of you True Blood fans on the TV series, here you go. The cover looks really nice. Okay, we're jumping into Boundless for one issue and Dark Horse for the other. Boundless first. Lady Death number 13 comes out this week. I am eagerly awaiting that. Lady Death has been really a fun read. I've been enjoying checking it out. Now I'm reading it full time, so it's a really good series. I would highly recommend it. And from Dark Horse, Goon Volume 3, number 37. I really don't know much about Goon. I know the people on Pete's Basement talk about it a bit. Steve, more specifically. I have no idea about Goon. Cover looks pretty funny, and yeah, so that's the Goon. Alright, so that's it for the independents. Now we go into the big two. Cody, you go first with Marvel.
Alrighty, jumping right into Marvel, we got Avengers Academy number 24. This is going to be a pretty good issue from what I can tell. I definitely know, I've been told multiple times that the Avengers Academy is going really good. Plus, X-23 is on the team, which is definitely making it very well worth it, in my opinion.
Definitely, in my opinion, as well. But I'm not picking it up at the moment. Too many Avenger books.
Next up, we got Avengers Volume 4, the annual number 1. Now, from the cover, it definitely looks like a nice little interesting fight scene. I don't know who Iron Man is fighting, but the artwork...
I think it's Wildman, I believe.
Yeah,
I can't remember, because he was in the new Avengers annual. This annual, I believe, is a month late, or 2 months late. But a little briefy, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Cody. A little briefy is he thinks the Avengers shouldn't have reformed after Siege. Him and his Revengers went after the new Avengers and basically made toys. They won. They don't know how they won, but they did. And their next target is the Avengers, which leads into this annual. But they made easy work out of the new Avengers, so it'll be fun to see how they square off against the regular Avengers team.
Very nice. So, go check it out. Next up, we got Avengers X Sanction number 2. We got Cable versus Iron Man. This is definitely going to be a fight that I know a lot of people are excited for. A lot of people are going to be interested to see what the outcome is.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we got Defenders Volume 4, issue number 2. I don't know too much about the Defenders, but I do know that it has Iron Fist, and Iron Fist is a really interesting character. Reminds me a lot of Judo Master and all those kind of guys.
How do you like his new costume? I think it's really cool, the gold and white, as opposed to the green and the yellow.
It doesn't look half bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm sorry, just to go really quickly back on X-Sanction, Ed McGuinness' artwork on that book is awesome. Just wanted to say that. But we're back on Defenders now. Yeah, love the white and gold costume.
Yep. Next up, we got Fear Itself, Fearless, issue number 6. Now, it may be just me, but
it's not.
Fear Itself... Oh, sorry, Chris?
I said it's not.
The Fear Itself, guys, it's done. It's just, we shouldn't be continuing on with the Fearless. I'm sorry. Fear Itself is done. Everybody that was in Fear Itself moved on. You know, everybody's got their own little thing going on. Just end it. Next up, we got Hulk, Volume 2, issue number 47, Father and Daughter. This is going to be a really nice little confrontation, shall we say. So it definitely looks like it's going to be worth your money.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Punisher, Volume 8, number 7. Michael, take it away.
Yeah, because you read that
Alright,
book.
so yeah, the Punisher cover looks very nicely done.
They better get that bandage off of his eye, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
man.
that bandage, you've told me that it reminds you of Nick Fury from the Avengers.
Yeah, it doesn't belong on Punisher.
It doesn't, but this is a lead up to see if the Punisher is going to have a new sidekick, Rachel, and I am definitely looking forward to reading where this will be going. The skull on the shirt is really epically just awesome. I mean, cover by cover, the more I see how they draw the skull, it just gets more awesomer, as, yes, awesomer is a word.
I understand.
That every time I see it, but yeah, looking forward to reading it and seeing where it'll lead off from there.
Alright, sounds good. Next up, we got Thor, Deviant Saga number 3. Now, I am not in any way, shape, or form a Thor fan. The cover is definitely, it looks like the artwork and the interior is going to be really, really good. But let's see if that story can back it up.
Yeah, this is the one miniseries I really regret not getting. I'm probably going to catch it in trade later on.
Alrighty. Next up, we got Thunderbolts, issue number 168. I don't know anything about Thunderbolts, but if you're a Thunderbolt fan, it's probably what you're looking for.
And it's starring Luke Cage from the New Avengers.
Oh yeah. Next up, we got Uncanny X-Force, issue number 19.1. Now, once again, this may be just me, guys, but I hate the .1 deals. It's just like, I hate when they do this crap. But we got the Age of Apocalypse coming in. The Apocalypse Wolverine and Sabretooth, people.
This is actually a setup for the new series they're starting up this month, which is ironically called The Age of Apocalypse. I won't be getting that series, but this .1 is supposed to... It's not really meant for Uncanny X-Force as much as it's meant for The Age of Apocalypse. I just got it just to check it out, but I'm probably not going to follow up by getting the series.
Alright. So next up we got Uncanny X-Men Volume 2, Number 4. The cover may look nice, but I don't agree with Colossus being the... what is it? The Juggernaut?
Yeah.
And plus... The helmet, this may be just me, but the helmet, it looks like it's pointed. He looks like Pinhead.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Colossus belongs as Colossus and Juggernaut belongs as Juggernaut. I don't even agree with Cyclops' side at all. I'm not on Cyclops' side at all. Using fear as a means for people to respect you is definitely not the way of the X-Men, and I think Cyclops lost that way a long time ago. He needs to either become a villain or he needs to get his he has to get knocked off of his high chair. He really does.
Next up we got Villains for Hire, issue number 2. I don't know anything about Villains for Hire. I will say that from the cover, it looks like it has a little bit of CGI artwork going on.
Possibly, but damn, is he really eating into that gun?
I think he is. Okay, I guess.
Yeah, moving forward.
Moving forward, we got Wolverine and the X-Men, Alpha and Omega, number 1. Yes. A lot of people are excited about this, guys. And I have to say, if you are anything of a Wolverine fan, this is something you need to be duking out the money for.
I am. It looks really good. The cover art looks amazing also.
Absolutely. Next up, we got X-23, Volume 2, issue number 20. I love this cover simply because it has Jubilee and it has X-23 on it. It's just like the sisterhood, the two daughters of Wolverine. In essence, we know they're not daughters biologically, but they basically are.
I wish she would be a vampire.
Even though Jubilee is a vampire, it looks nice. Looks like it's going to be interesting, guys. And we all know X-23 story's concluding, so every issue counts.
Oh, yeah.
Jumping right into X-Club number 2. I don't agree with the cover on this one. Even though Cyclops and Emma Frost and everybody else in that cover is getting their ass handed to them, which I agree with, but the cover, it looks like the artwork, meh.
I wasn't on board with this idea, this X-Club idea. It's an extension. Like Wolverine, Alpha and Omega is the miniseries for the Wolverine side. X-Club is the miniseries for Psych's side, and I'm just completely not interested in it, to be quite honest.
And last but not least, we have X-Men Volume 3, issue number 23, Regenesis. Going to, I believe this is Cyclops' side, because we have Psylocke, Storm, and whatever the other character is.
War Machine, and also, and I'm surprised they didn't put Colossus on the cover. And Domino.
Yeah, pretty shocked about that. I'm not sure if this the cover was drawn. It looks like it might have a little bit of CGI in it.
It's beautiful. And it's the last part to the first story of Regenesis on Psych's side, and the last issue I'm going to be probably picking up.
But the big thing about this issue, guys, from the background, I can tell it looks like the Sentinels.
It is. Oh, it is. And it's going to be very interesting. Anybody knows me, they know I love stories that involve the Sentinels. So that's the only reason why I'm getting this series, and it looks really fun.
Sounds good. So, anyways, guys, that was the whole entire rundown for Marvel, and I give you guys back to Brother Chris.
Okay, well, here we go with DC. First off, we have Action Comics number 5. Deviating from the very first story in the relaunch Action Comics, issues 5 and 6 are going to be a retelling, once again, for the millionth time, of Superman's origin. I'm pretty sure the whole Krypton part is going to be exactly the same as it's always been, except Jor-El and Laura are going to look a little different again. And, of course, the spaceship will look different, like on the cover. I do like the S-cape that Superman has wrapped around him, baby Superman has wrapped around him. I'm sure a lot of Action Comic fans are a bit pissed off that this and next issue are basically the two issues between the pendulum issue of the first story and the conclusion of the first story. So basically 5 and 6 deviate from the original story to give a background story, and then they're going to conclude in issue 7 with the original story. If you follow through with that, I don't know where DC's head is with this comic, but I've long since dropped it. Also, before we move on, this is the variant comic of the week, so there is a variant for this comic, and it's only about, I believe, $1 or $2 more. Just worth noting. We're not showing it here. Okay, Animal Man number 5. On the darker side of the DCU. It was a surprise comic for me. I really am enjoying Animal Man. Not enjoying the covers, however, and for those of you who are looking at this cover, I'm pretty sure you can see why. Okay, moving along. This comic I don't grab. Batwing number 5. I'm just not interested in Batman. I never was interested in Batman Inc. Grant Morrison created it, and Batwing is the one thing that made it into the relaunch thus far. As far as a mainstream title, like a continuing monthly title, and I'm just not interested. DC Presents. DC's been doing this the past couple of months. DC Presents the New 52, the dark side. Basically, it's Animal Man, iVampire, Justice League Dark, and Swamp Thing, all in one book, all the number 1s. Something worth noting. Detective Comics number 5. Penguin is supposed to, as you guys can see from the cover, Penguin is the villain in this book, or he's going to be the antagonist in this book. Looking forward to actually reading that. The cover art looks beautiful. If you guys, I'm sure you guys agree. And moving along, Michael, you actually read this one. Green Arrow number 5.
Yeah. Wow. New villain that is coming in, which we actually saw from issue number 3, because last issue we saw a woman character that he was fighting, Blood Rose, I believe her name was, and now we're going to go into this new villain, which I've been wondering what this villain's name is, but I guess I'll find out when I read it. The cover by far is just beautiful, just awesome.
It's interesting. I wouldn't call it beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, another one that shows Hawk and Dove number 5. This one has Hawk, and if you look at the corner, it has Dove's arm, and it looks like she's been through hell.
Now, I don't know if that means that she either got knocked out or...
Well, you know they didn't kill her. They can't kill her right away.
I think this is the hunt for Dead Man.
Oh, very interesting.
I think, but yeah, amazing.
Okay, moving along. Cody, this is a series you've been interested in. Huntress, issue 4 of the miniseries. Cover looks beautiful. I've been enjoying this series. I didn't think I would be enjoying it as much as I am. Cover is definitely telltaling what might be happening next. There's only 2 more issues after this to go. Hopefully Huntress will get put on somebody's title. I'm hoping maybe Birds of Prey, because Huntress is definitely a character I would hope to be reading more about in the year 2012.
Guys, Huntress, even though I was only able to pick up the first issue, it has been an amazing read story-wise, and the artwork is absolutely beautiful in Huntress. So I'm really praying that she definitely makes her way into the Birds of Prey, because she is a character that I want to see be kept around for a long time. Definitely pick up Huntress.
I definitely agree, and I'd actually say if they have to get rid of a Batman series and put her as a monthly, get rid of Batwing. For Huntress?
Absolutely.
For Huntress, I would absolutely say do that. Okay, moving along. Justice League International, number 5, written by Dan Jurgens. I've always loved Dan Jurgens' work, both art-wise and story-wise. This story definitely falls under one of my favorites from him. He's taken this team, Guy Gardner, Batman, Booster Gold, Ice, Fire and Godiva and so many others. And he's made this story very interesting for me. I never was an International fan, but this story's actually been pretty good. Artwork also has been pretty good also. Cody, once again, I got you to buy issue 1 and you loved it, so.
It's amazing. They keep it old school and new school at the same time.
Absolutely. Moving along, Men of War #5 comes out this week. Definitely one of the lower rung comics from DC. I'd say these are, there are always those misses, and not too many people are talking about Men of War anymore. A few people still are, don't get me wrong, but very few are talking about Men of War. It kind of fell out of its spotlight, so to speak. In the coming year, if they do cuts, I have a feeling this is definitely going to be one of those books. Just my opinion, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, OMAC #5 is also coming out this week, and this is another book, even though Dan Didio is writing it, that I feel definitely low rung. I, by none of the issue covers, was ever interested in buying, so I really can't say anything about OMAC. Either you like it or you don't, honestly, but from what I hear, the original one was the best. From way back when in the 80s, I believe. Okay, moving along. Penguin, Pain and Prejudice, #4. I have not been collecting this comic series. It's a mini-series. Cover looks nice. I was never really a huge fan of Penguin. I don't know if you guys are at all. Mike?
Penguin, well, he's quite an interesting villain for Batman.
Not interested, though.
Not really interested in the series itself.
What about you, Cody?
Definitely not.
Yeah, so...
By the way, I like the machinery thing that's going on.
That was interesting. Very interesting cover. I like it.
Yeah.
Moving on. Red Lanterns #5 comes out this week, and this is one of those comics, either you like it or you don't. Honestly, I've been reading this since issue 1. It's pretty good. Once again, though, you have to have a taste for it. This is the Red Lantern Corps, after all. If you're going into this expecting something that you'd be reading in Green Lantern, then you are severely mistaken and definitely going to be disappointed. Atrocitus is giving his Red Lanterns back, well, most of the ones anyway, the ability for cognitive function again, so to speak, so they can actually think again instead of being mindless animals. And we'll see if this comes back to bite him, because already Bleeze seems to be forming some type of an antagonist role against Atrocitus. We'll see, but once again, you have to have a taste for the Red Lanterns. If you don't, if you're expecting something from Green Lantern, you're not going to enjoy this book. That's just my opinion once again also. Okay, Static Shock #5. Cody, you got the first issue, so I feel it best for you to talk about this, if out of any of us.
With Static Shock, real quick, it's definitely, they took him into a direction that I don't necessarily agree with, but to all the Static Shock fans, if you are able to what is the word? If you are able to adapt to his new ways, then you might like it.
True. Cover art looks kind of different from the other Static Shocks. I remember the other covers. This is kind of different. Guess if you're a fan, you're a fan. If not. Moving along, Stormwatch #5. I gave up on the series after the first issue. It just didn't interest me. There's Demonites coming out soon, and it's going to reach into Grifter, Voodoo, and I believe one other series that's just not hitting me right now. But of course it's reaching into Grifter and Voodoo because both of them are from Wildstorm, so it kind of fits that it somehow connects to Stormwatch. I've not been interested in this series. Looks like there's a lot of action in this issue from the cover, but once again, just not something that I'm getting at least. Supernatural, which is more of a side story, #4, is coming out this week from DC. It's a 6-part series based off of the TV series. If you're a Supernatural fan, maybe you'll want to check this out. Personally, I've been missing Supernatural a lot lately. I really got to catch up on that, but up to you guys. Okay, I believe this is the last comic for DC. Yes, this is the last comic for DC. Swamp Thing #5. I've been loving Swamp Thing since the beginning. Alec Holland doesn't want to be Swamp Thing, but he has to become Swamp Thing, because if he doesn't, then the Rot's going to win and the world is going to die. Alec Holland has the ability to manipulate plant life and everything, but he has to become one with the plants in order to become the true warrior of the green. Now, I know, Cody, you read issue 1, and you loved this series also.
Swamp Thing is definitely promising. It's got really nice artwork, and it's got a nice little gory, really sick kind of plot line thus far. I really liked it.
Yeah. So, also one little thing to note, though, if you're getting Swamp Thing, my advice, also get Animal Man, because they're both somehow intertwined with each other. They both are involving the Rot right now. One is for the red, and one is for the green. So, at some point, they're definitely going to cross over, so you're going to want to know both backstories before they actually do cross over. And yeah, so that is it for this week's comic book rundown. Mind you guys, this is the first episode. It is a work in progress. We will be tweaking these over the next few weeks and playing around with different ideas, see what we can do. 3 of us are going to be working on it. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave comments below if you'd like to say something about any of the comics we've mentioned here, or any comic that's being released on January 4th. Please do not mention comics that are being released January 11th or further along, or December 21st or 28th, whatever. Please, if you're going to comment about a comic, make sure it was a comic that was released this week. If you have something you'd like to add, something you'd like to you want to contradict, that you want to say opposite of what we're saying for, welcome to as well. There are differing opinions for every comic book. So let it be heard in the comment box below. Let us know what you think. If you'd like to recommend a comic book that we really couldn't talk about, go right ahead. Feel free to do that as well. Guys, do you have any closing words?
Issues this week look pretty interesting, and looking forward to reading my comic books and the ones that are coming out as well.
How about you, Cody?
A lot of the comics that are coming out this week, I do have to agree with Brother Mike. They all look very promising, or at least a good majority of them, so this week may be a good week in comics.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there'll be weeks where there are going to be a lot more than this. This is definitely a medium-sized week, guys. I'll try to mention this at the end of each weekly rundown. This is definitely a medium week. Not too many comic books, but not too little either. There will be weeks where there will be very little or a huge amount. This week was definitely not one of them, because we all know that Marvel's going to be doubling up very soon on a lot of their titles, and that's going to really beef out the pull lists of a lot of people. Alright guys, hope you have a wonderful week in the world of comic books. Hope this video helped you out if you had to pick and figure out what comics you wanted to get this week. And we'll see you guys next week for another comic book rundown.
Right, see you guys next week.
Alright, rock on. Later, guys.
Take care, guys.